Hey everybody, how's it going? Marc Lozano here, Christ Center Capital. You guys know the whole spiel: newsletter, timely market information, Christian perspective, investment reports on timely stuff, moral analysis, all that good stuff. I am here to do a little market update video. For those of you who don't get the newsletter is way better than the YouTube videos. Definitely go to the site, get the newsletter. But these little market update videos are about the newsletters I send out every Monday and Thursday, and I could go through all the different headlines. Um, Oil prices down, the 10-year and 2-year yield curve getting further apart, which is a good thing for the market. Stuff going on in Ukraine, Fed rates, all that good stuff. There's a bunch of people making videos about that. I don't want to take too much time. I want to stick to the bread and butter of what C3 does, and that's moral analysis. And one thing that hit this week in the video or in our weekly report and in our newsletter is TikTok. Now, TikTok's not a publicly traded company itself, but it is booming right now. They're predicted to triple their revenue this year to $11 billion. The heavily influenced Chinese app that is catering to minors and pushing drugs, alcohol, pornography on them is killing it financially. And that's a big problem. And that's something we should really talk about and something we should think about as we're investing. And I'll get into that a little bit more. But first, I want to give a shout out. You guys can see the website behind me. I want to give a shout out to some great friends of mine, Second Vote. You can visit them at secondvote.com. The research I do is heavily, or I would say the research I do is helped greatly by the work that these guys at Second Vote do. So Second Vote, they're a little bit more about the spending dollar. They're not going to do too much about the investing dollar or anything like that. They got a great headline going right there, the threat of ESG and kind of the nonsense going on there. But Second Vote does some amazing research on all different kinds of companies and organizations and charities on where the conservative values are and where they are not, right? So go check out Second Vote. I'm not getting paid for this or anything like that. I just really, really appreciate what they do because it makes what Christ Center Capital does possible, right? They are a huge, huge help when it comes to research. So just go check out secondvote.com. Again, I'm not affiliate or anything like that. They're just really good people over there. Now, let's get back. Let's skip over the website. So TikTok serves up sex and drug videos to minors. I'm sure some people who follow the news and everything have probably heard this story before. It's a little bit dated, actually. All the way back in September was when it was released. However, it's very telling as to what's going on now. Everyone's aware, suicide rates are up and depression's up among teens and all of these terrible, horrible things. It's so funny. We live in this society that is easy in almost every sense of the word. It's easy. It's easy to get food, and it's easy to get transportation, and it's easy to, generally speaking, of course, I know people struggle out there and everything, but generally our society is in one of decadence. We've probably all heard that term before too. Our society is one of decadence. And a lot of people conflate the words easy with good. They don't mean the same thing. They are not synonyms. Something can be easy, but it can be very, very bad, morally speaking. Something can be very hard to do, but very good, morally speaking. So keep that in mind because TikTok is something that is just killing it on all different realms financially. I mean, it just was released that they're expecting $11 billion in revenue, which is triple their amount from just a year prior. Everybody and their brother is on it. Everybody and their grandmother literally is on TikTok making videos and becoming paid influencers and all this good stuff, right? And I mean good stuff as in terms of financially. You're making money and TikTok is promoting the social media culture and all this stuff. But this study by the Wall Street Journal back in September is a little bit telling as to why they're doing so well. Because I'll summarize the story really quick. What happened was the Wall Street Journal was taking bots and certain people from their staff and everything, and they were signing up for TikTok, and they were saying that they were 13, 15 years old, teens, minors, and they just kind of let those accounts roll. They weren't actually active or interacting with those accounts. And what they found in the course of a 3 to 5 month span was TikTok just started recommending sexual content and drug related content. That's all it was recommending, because those are the things that are clickbait and sell, and um, those things were being pushed so much so that that's all that existed on these pages that were supposed to be for like 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old kids. Now, again, they were bot monitored accounts or staff from the Wall Street Journal. And keep in mind, the Wall Street Journal isn't really a hugely conservative or Christian outlet here. They're much more left leaning. But the reason that this story is so telling is because TikTok is merely capitalizing on the things that sell. Sex sells, bad news sells, drugs sell. I mean, I've said in so many videos and so much of the content on the C3 website that if you care about profits and profits only, there's two things you need to be into, right? Drugs and sex. Those are the things that make the most money from the dawn of civilization, pretty much, right? Those are, the old adage of the world's oldest profession and everything. The two things that make the most money: drugs and sex. And that's when I have those people ask me the question of like, are my profits going to be the same if I truly invest with my Christian moral convictions in mind, as opposed to just traditional, regular, secular investing? And my answer is always no. It's not going to be the same. One way or another, it's going to be different, because the things that you're going to be investing in are going to be different, and most likely they're not going to be as large as the profits you would receive if you were traditionally investing. And I just like to be upfront with people about that. That's the truth of the matter. I mean, the secular world is much bigger than the Christian world, and that's a shame. That's a tragedy, but it is the truth. So the reason TikTok is able to reach $11 billion in revenue in just a short lifespan, is because they know what to market in order to get more eyes and more views. And that's simply what they were doing. That's simply what this Wall Street Journal article exposed. And of course, they're exposing that it's terrible that they're doing this to minors, and there should be safeguards in place. And I mean, if we're gonna sum up the moral analysis real quick, I mean, go back to The Waterboy, right? One of my favorite movies. TikTok is the devil. Like that's as simple as it gets, because the things that it's promoting to children make it satanic. And that language is strong. I know that language is strong, but it's true. And I gotta call it as I see it. Now, like I said, I know there's a bunch of market information that I could get into and update you guys on, but please just go check out the newsletter. It's completely free. You can sign up right here on the site. It's a completely free newsletter. You get timely market information, little nuggets of great information that you can take and apply to, just how you interact with the market on a daily basis. And of course, we give links to all of our charities that we support, and all of our articles that are behind a paywall and all that stuff, all of our investment reports. But I really want to just talk about TikTok, and the real reason, I know there's a long way to get to this, but the real reason I wanted to talk about TikTok is because they are the prime example of why you can't just passively invest. Again, TikTok's not a publicly traded company, but companies that do well know what sells. And what sells is usually the bad. And that's why you can't passively invest, because if you start seeing a recommendation come across your board from your stock picker accounts or your investment firms or your financial planner or whatever, and you start seeing these things get added to your portfolios or whatever because they're doing so well financially, you need to be on guard. You need to be very skeptical. Start questioning, because why are those things doing so well financially? Is it because God has blessed them in some way? Or is it because they're caving and catering to the secular culture that promotes sex, drugs, alcohol, and all the like? That's something we need to be thinking about as Christian investors. And that's why I wanted to kind of highlight, in a bad way, TikTok, because they're the prime example of what's going on. Like I said, they're not publicly traded, but a lot of companies that follow their format are publicly traded, and they're probably in your portfolio. So if you really want to change the way you invest, because investing is how you can influence the culture, visit ChristCenterCapital.com. That's the website you see right behind me, and we'll help you. Help guide you to a more biblically responsible portfolio. We're just going to provide you information. You can do with it what you like. Last minute before we'll let you go, this is the newest investment report that we have right here. You can go right on the site, click on it. Just released this on the 8th, just 4 days ago. What investments popped up on C3's radar? You can I give you little hints, right? Nike was one of them. Obviously, they didn't get too good of a rating, but there's a bunch of portfolios or a bunch of assets that popped up on our radar in this latest curation process. And we got a couple semiconductor and chip companies and ETFs that popped up on that radar as well that have been highly recommended as of late. So go check that out. Get our moral analysis on all of those and see which ones that, as a Christian investor, you may want to add to your portfolio and which ones you may want to make sure do not get into your portfolio. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me ramble. And I appreciate you. Please go check out Christ Center Capital. I would appreciate it. My charities would appreciate it. My team would appreciate it. And I think you would probably be glad you did. All right. God bless. Have a great day.